Well, he has a system of fans where I thought he had like one up top that pulled air and one that pulled air in, another one that like shot air out. So it kind of sucked air through the house.
Here.
Oh, he's here. We better quit talking about him.
You know, I actually thought it was him for a minute.
Excuse me.
Yeah, go ahead. Netminer. What did you want to say?
Well, let's
that's
move
it?
on.
All right, do we want to start the show or?
Yes.
Okay. Welcome to the LinuxLUGcast. We're an open podcast /lug that meets at 9 p.m. Eastern every first and third Friday of the month using Mumble. We encourage anyone who listens to us to join us. I still need to get the link to the web version of Mumble so that anybody can just connect to join us during the live show, which, you know, any first and third Friday of the month around 9 p.m. Eastern that you are available. All you'd have to do is click on that link and give it a name, and you'd be able to connect to us through just any web browser. I believe I've tested it before on mobile, and even in mobile, it worked out pretty well. If you have any topics or comments or topics you'd like us to discuss and are unable to join us live during the show, you can send us an email at feedback@linuxlugcast.com. We have a Matrix page where you can Matrix group where you can join the conversation, mostly about movies and other BS. I'm sure we talk some tech every once in a while, but mostly a lot of.
I've been talking about all of my
a lot of movies,
technology frustrations, and
yep.
Want to hear me bitch and moan?
We have a Lemmy page where we post interesting tech things that sometimes gets talked on the show. We haven't talked much about the stuff that we're posting Lemmy recently, but we usually tap that when we have nothing else really to talk about here, things we see in the news and whatnot. And we have a video. So during the video, you can to view the video version of this, you can check out YouTube or Peertube. Links are in the show notes, or you can go to linuxlugcast.com, and all of the links are there too. The links for the Mumble channel and the links to Peertube, YouTube, and other places you can find us. The RSS feed, you can find us on Amazon Music and a couple other places too. Anyways,
if you search LugCast on any search engine, the Linux LugCast will be the first thing that pops up.
I should know that. So.
Yeah. By now,
it would come up at archive.org or.
No, it's usually the main page, the Linux LugCast, and then there's some Reddit links and YouTube links. But really? we're always at the very top. Yeah.
One of my wife's friends that lives in Colorado came by the house today and actually said that she saw one of our videos on YouTube. She was just, messing around on YouTube, not interested in Linux at all, but came across one of our videos and there was an interesting picture there. So she clicked on it and it's like, I know that guy.
It's Joe.
Well, people found us by accident. So I am actually trying to. I've noticed that it is very difficult to ask like Amazon to bring up, because we were on Amazon Music, but it's very difficult to ask Amazon to or Alexa to play the LinuxLUGcast, because I don't think it understands the whole phrasing the LinuxLUGcast. So what I'm trying to do is reset up the RSS feed so LinuxLUGcast isn't all one word. It's actually separated into Linux space lug space cast. Yeah. That way, possibly too, that if we can get searched as somebody can search up Linux, it would we would actually come up with that.
Now that's one thing I have had problems with. If I search for Linux podcast on Google or any search engine, it's hard to find us. There's a lot of stuff.
Right. There's so many.
That could be right. It could be there's so many, or there's something that's preventing us from being found.
I think it's because of the fact that LinuxLUGcast is just all one word.
Right.
So my goal for the next couple of weeks or whatever is to try to fix that, so that the feed will actually show up with the words separated.
Talk to the Amazon robots.
Well, it just so it makes it makes it more searchable. You can search up the word Linux or Linux podcast, and it should show up.
Yeah.
Again, I don't think talking to like an Alexa device that it understands the phrasing LinuxLUGcast. But
we've
that's
done
my
a pretty
goal.
good job as far as like organic SEO is like if you just search LUGcast, very first for the whole front page is basically us,
Which is good.
Yeah, it's good. Hopefully people find us and jump on.
Yeah.
Well,
yep.
I know. Well, we're actually going to talk about something technical for a second.
Would you want to go through the introductions first, and then you can talk something technical?
Oh, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Honky. I'm the host this evening. With us tonight is Joe.
Yep, I'm here.
Lovecraft.
Hello, everyone.
Minnix.
Here.
And mordancy.
Hello.
All right, now go talk something technical.
Here.
Okay.
Oh, there's Netminer.
I know last time I talked pretty extensively about the DAS that I'm planning on building.
Oh yeah, with the DVD duplicator.
Yeah, I got all the drives pulled out. I've got all of the trays printed. The tray adapters printed, and I got all of the covers printed. And today I ordered the cable, and I do have the PCI card ready to be put into this machine. So hopefully
before you go on, can you kind of give us an overview of how you started with this? Because your segment that I clipped out of the show onto YouTube, a lot of people watched it about DVD duplicator becoming a mass storage device.
Yeah, well, Jackie was able to find me a DVD duplicator, which are actually really expensive if you go out there and try and buy them new. So it's got 9 5.25 inch bays on it, and 8 of them were filled with DVD drives. So I do have 8 DVD drives sitting over there trying to figure out what I'm going to do with them since I don't really use DVDs. But also the control board, which I can't reuse because it's dedicated, was another slot. So like I said, 9 slots. So it comes with its own power supply and can power, 8 drives, probably 9 drives, but 8 drives for this. But I needed covers, which I 3D printed, and I needed tray adapters, which I 3D printed. So that these are made so that it can hold either the 3.5 or the 2.5 inch hard drives. And then Bill, one of my go ahead.
Are they SATA connectors?
They are.
Okay.
They are, and I will get to that in just a second. And then Bill, who is one of my co-hosts on Mintcast, sent me a few hard drives, and I have to find a couple of my hard drives. But essentially, I got a PCIe SAS card, and then you can get a cable that goes from SAS to is it SAS? I think it's a SAS connector. Let me double check because it's an 8088 connector, and then that goes to 4 SATA drives. A mini SAS PCIe card, and it has 2 slots in it, so I can get up to 2 cables, and those SAS cables are 6 foot long, and they split out to 4 SATA connectors, just the data. And so I will run that from my main computer to the DVD duplicator box with the adapters in it and the hard drives in it, and then use the power supply that's already in there to power all of them, and then the data cables from the SAS PCIe, and that will allow me to hook up to 8 drives externally.
So as far as what you're using that was originally from the duplicator is mainly just the case and the power supply. Okay.
That's it.
Did you find the STLs for those on Thingiverse, or did you make them?
No, these are directly from Thingiverse. I mean, it's a fairly common thing to need the 5.5 inch drive bay covers, and then the adapters for hard drives. But it brings my costs down to around $60 total, not including when I start getting the either 16 terabyte or 10 terabyte hard drives, depending on what I can find on sale. And I will order them slowly over time. I'm not going to buy them all at once. That would just be too expensive for me.
Have you kind of made up your mind yet? Which one you want to go for?
Like I said, it's going to depend on what's on sale when. It's not like I need to make them all match or anything.
Right. Yeah, you're not making an array or anything.
Right. I'm not making a RAID. I'm just making a JBOD DAS.
Getting closer.
I should. I might go grab the drives or 3 of the drives and start putting them on here, and then I can't put a lot of it together until the cable shows up tomorrow, and I sure as heck can't turn this computer off to put in the card. But yeah, hopefully I get it done either this weekend or next weekend.
Are you going to move all your Flex media over to that?
Not at this time. I was debating on whether or not to pull out the 12 terabyte hard drive that I have over in a different DAS box, like a pre-built DAS box that I paid like $40 for that only holds 2 drives. So that would be a large section of my Plex in there. I think it's my TV shows. And then just have it in this instead, so I'm not powering 2 different boxes. I can't hear you.
Oh, maybe your audiobooks too?
Maybe, but I would have to start pulling drives out of the server box, and I don't really see the point in that until I start getting larger drives and put them all in that. And I'm still wondering if I'm going to have to readjust things so I can put some 120 millimeter fans in the front, because it's got a pair of 80 millimeter fans in the back. And it's got some spaces where I think I could put some 80 millimeter fans on the bottom, but I'd have to put I'd have to 3D print some risers, so that way it's lifted up a little bit more. And then those fans would probably do quite a bit to keep it cool. But I'm also thinking that maybe I want fans going directly across the drives.
Is it going to stay in your garage?
Yeah.
Pretty warm in there.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the bulk of that will be done shortly.
There's Jackie.
They said hi. Yeah. I told him that Kim had found the show.
Know that guy.
Yeah, I do realize she called me Tala's dad as opposed to Joe. She's your friend. She's not my friend. I got that loud and clear.
Tala's dad.
Ha!
What else?
Stop to say Tala. Okay.
Any other projects? Said headphones.
Yeah, this pair of headphones here, I mean, it looks exactly like my other headphones that I always use because it's the exact same model. But I had a whole bunch of these that I hadn't gotten around to fixing, and then I had originally seen 3 more on sale on eBay for $2 for all 3 of them. And so,
$2?
Yeah, $2 for 3 of them.
And what are they? Razer what?
Broken. Yeah, a Razer Nari Ultimates. But yeah, I ordered that, and then because I ordered that, I decided to order 2 of the USB dongles, because that's usually what's broken and that they can't find. So I ordered 2 of those, which, yeah, $18 a piece. And then they canceled and refunded the $2 for the 3 Razer Nari Ultimates, saying that it was mispriced. But I did have a bunch of these that had been sitting in a box for a while, so I started mixing and matching hinges, until I had 2 more that were working, since I had 2 USB dongles on the way. And then they got here yesterday, and like the first one I hooked up, I had them paired within a couple of minutes. Super easy process as long as you run Windows, and ready to go in no time. But then the other one, I have not been able to actually get to work right. Like, it will not read, and whatever computer I put it in. And I tried cleaning up the connections, reshaping it a little bit, all that jazz, and nothing worked on it. It has not even, like, pinged up as a USB connected. So I told them that, and they immediately turned around, and they've sent me another one, but I don't know when it will be here yet.
So, you think that was legit, that they realized that they just charged too little for the original headphones you were going to
Yeah,
get?
probably. I mean, $2 for 3 of these. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a misprice.
Now, did you contest it with eBay?
I'm not going to argue with that. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
And like I said, I had others, so I just put the others together, and with the USB dongles on the way. I'd been meaning to order them for a long time because I wanted more of these headsets. I don't like having only one of my favorite headset, because what if it breaks?
Is that your favorite? The Razer Naris?
Yeah, it's my favorite wireless.
What's your
2.4
favorite
gigahertz
wired?
wireless. Huh?
What's your favorite wired?
The Meze 99 Neos. MEZE. But I use a separate microphone with that pair.
Honky, any update on your AI box?
Oh yeah, so I got that motherboard in, and it did absolutely nothing.
What?
So I now have. So I don't know whether it's actually dead or whether it won't. 2 now that don't do anything.
Are you kidding me? That's crazy.
Again, I'm not sure whether these things are dead or whether there's just some issue, because I don't know if I showed you guys last time, but I have an adapter, because HP is a fucking bitch when it comes to power, that I have to have this to power it, and then this as a secondary power thing. And this is like specific for like the G2 and a couple of other ones, and like the G3 had a completely different one. And I ordered another one of these thinking that maybe it was this that was the problem. Nope, still absolutely fucking nothing. And I've even read some forums like, oh, the power will only go up to 400 to 400 watts. I've pulled out an old power supply that was, what the fuck is this old piece of shit? What is this? Pulled this out of another machine. It's 200.
Just to try and see if it'll power it.
Yeah.
Power it on.
Yeah, they even started up and attached the adapter to it and everything. Nope, same thing. Fucking nothing. So I thought maybe I heard, maybe I killed the CPU transferring it around so many times. Nope, I put it back into the G3, hooked the old the G3's original power supply to it, and it'll run fine. Same way it did when I first bought the original HP G3. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna buy. There's a couple of other motherboards that aren't HP that I found on eBay, which I'm just gonna buy one of those, and I'm gonna transfer over. The pin type is an LGA 1151 Intel Core i5. So I'm just gonna find something that a motherboard that is a micro ATX and will take that type of CPU and the type of RAM that I have, which is the DDR4, and I'm just gonna whole other different motherboard away from fucking HP and never go anywhere near a fucking HP again.
I don't blame
Just because
you.
of the whole proprietary fucking power shit. I am just so fucking done with HP.
Sucks. Think
Yeah.
you just had. Hey, check A.
Hi guys, Joe. Apparently, my pizza rolls smell really good, so he went after pizza rolls.
So you're done with HP. Do you think you just had bad luck on both mobos? They were just
I have
both
no
DOA?
idea. I have no idea, but and for a while I thought it somehow I might have fucked up the CPU, but I mean I put it back in the original the G3 and it works fine.
Didn't see any bent pins or anything.
No. Well, I was more worried about getting thermal paste on the back side of it by accident. And then bent pins. There's not many, like the pins aren't very long on them anymore. But yeah, so now I just got to buy a whole other motherboard, and I tell you, I've gotten really good at attaching all the wiring and stuff, and putting a motherboard into the case, and yeah, I can, once I get another motherboard, I can slap the thing together pretty quick. Yeah. So I've made absolutely zero progress, besides getting more fucking pissed off.
Well, I put a link in the show notes. This is on the same topic, Stable Diffusion going broke.
Yeah.
Sale.
Yeah, I've heard some stuff about that, but I figure is it an open source project or is it just?
Yeah, it's all open source.
Yeah, so it's not going anywhere. There's enough people who like to play around with stuff like this where I don't think it's going to go anywhere.
It said they were, well, because they also hosted, models online that you could generate with, and so they didn't just publish code; they were doing hosting. And they said that the power to run these models is what's causing them to bleed cash. I said they started out with $100 million venture and were valued at $1 billion in 2022. It says they generated less than $5 million in revenue in the first quarter this year, while losing more than $30 million.
Well, you're talking about they're the ones who are hosting the Stable Diffusion online, aren't they?
Yeah, Stability AI. But they also produce the models and stuff.
Huh?
Well, they produce some models, I'm sure. I mean, you can go to several other places to pick up models, whether it's what's the Hugging Face? Is it that the name of the guy who does all the?
That's the same company.
Hugging Faces.
Stability AI is Hugging Face.
All right. Well, there's the other one too. I forget the. I talked about it before. Cividi, CIVI, fucking balls.
Oh yeah, Civet AI.
Yeah, yeah. They have a fuck ton of models and all sorts of stuff that are free. Models, LoRa's, workflows.
Plus, there's even Facebook has open source llama models.
Yep.
So I think you're right. The community will probably carry on.
Yeah, and all that's the Civet AI is all community driven. Because you can, part of it is you can post your own models on there. You download models on there. You get like credits for posting stuff, and like get other credits for liking stuff. And their whole model is trying to is people creating stuff.
So Hugging Face has several tiers pricing. The free one is you can host unlimited models, datasets, and spaces, create unlimited orgs and private repos, access the latest machine learning tools and open source community support. The Pro account, 0 GPU and dev mode for spaces, higher rate limits for serverless inference, get early access to upcoming features. So I think that's where they make their money, is accounts that you can run their GPUs and stuff. And they have prices per hour and month and stuff like that. Apparently it's not making much.
Well, the thing is, with something like this, especially when you can host it yourself and you can create your own LoRa's and models and stuff like that. I mean, my whole thing is I want to do my own, make my own models and LoRa's and whatnot. And it doesn't, looking at how to do it, it doesn't seem like it's that complex of a process. It's more tedious than anything. You just got to find a bunch of things, put it all in there, and make the proper descriptions for everything so that it actually learns what it needs to be learning. So one of the big things is just hands, making sure it has any sort of picture has proper hands with 5 fingers on it. But that's part of the whole learning process with some of this stuff. And then what type of style, and then but I mean, trying to think of a business model for something like that's got to be difficult, because besides hosting, you can host that anywhere for the most part, as long as you have enough GPUs.
From what I understand, the only people making money on AI right now are the hardware manufacturers.
I'd imagine.
Yeah, everybody else is losing money due to power usage.
I mean, I know
even OpenAI and Microsoft, they're all losing money.
Joe, weren't you saying that a lot of what your company was trying to do was try to add AI to the some of their workflows?
Yes. I mean, I don't know what else you want me to say. They essentially are planning on using AI to just make things easier, to work smarter, not harder. Essentially, make it so that they need less people to do the exact same amount of work by having the AI there to answer the simple questions. And then eventually later on, I'm sure that we'll also have them answering the more complicated questions.
So you're talking about your company is using ChatGPT for their help desk type of a thing.
Some of it, yeah.
Their FAQ type of things. Okay.
For now.
Because I want to say I've heard it before. They're trying to use them actually in like the back end to basically get rid of you.
I'm sure once it's advanced enough that they'll use them to calculate risk and rates and all that jazz and eliminate me.
Well, yeah, kind of
the whole purpose is to eliminate Joe. All the CEOs got together and said, we got to get rid of this Joe guy. Let's put $100 million into AI.
We have to find a way to, make him redundant, and we just can't.
You can. That's how they're trying to make you redundant. They're trying to copy you.
Yeah, no, believe me, I understand.
That's what it is. It's Robot Joe.
I understand that we've already lost 3 people, and we're going to be down 4 people in the month of July, and so you've got 5 people doing the work of 9 people, and that's their goal essentially, is to get rid of the people that they have to pay money to in order to implement AI, because yes, they are, most companies, profit driven. It's all about making the guys at the top richer.
So their plan is to kill you and upload you into the machine.
Like a digital Joe.
Immortality.
Digital Joe.
Immortality.
What did they call it in Freejack?
Oh,
he was You spent 36 hours. You have 36 hours
The
in
spiritual
Spirit
switchboard.
chamber. Spiritual
Spiritual
switchboard.
switchboard.
Yeah.
Are we ready to talk about this movie? 'Cause-
I don't know. I thought it fit in that. It fit in the conversation. All right.
Oh, this is a classic.
Oh, here we go. Set it off.
The LinuxLUGcast.
Might as well. Freejack, right? That's what we watched.
Freejack.
That
That
was
is
the
what we
movie.
watched.
Now, was it called that because of Mick Hacker?
No.
Oh, that's not
No,
his name.
No.
It was called. Did you not watch the movie?
Yeah, I didn't watch
Did you
it.
watch it
I
like
was-
20 years ago or
No, I
something?
was
You're
trying
like,
to make
I
a-
already know the movie. I don't need to watch it again.
I was trying to make a pun on his name, but his name is Jagger, not Jacker. I
Oh.
was thinking of Mick Jacker.
Mick Jagger.
That's his name.
That's
Oh,
a whole
He
different
jacks
movie.
Mix.
Yeah, that's a different movie.
That's a whole different movie.
We'll review that next time. Dick Jacker, not Mick Jagger. That's what I was thinking of, that movie.
You would.
So, we watched a movie from 1992 called Freejack, starring Emilio Estevez, Rene Russo, I think, Mick Jagger, Anthony Hopkins, and the guy that plays Mike in Breaking Bad. I forgot his name. Anyway,
Oh yeah, that is him.
yeah, that's him. He's just older now.
30 years younger.
Yeah. So the movie kind of starts out. The Emilio Estevez and Rene Russo are a couple, and he's a famous race car driver. And it kind of intercedes with scenes of the future that you're not really sure are what's going on, is the future or what. But what's happened is Mick Jagger has set up this. He's called a bone jacker, and what they do is they kidnap bodies from the past and they bring them to the future, which is 2009, I believe, and they people that are dying, rich people, can have their minds uploaded into something called the spiritual switchboard. Is that what it was?
When you die, you can get uploaded into the spiritual switchboard.
If you're rich.
If you're rich. So your consciousness is uploaded there, and then they hire a bone jacker to do
To snatch
You'll-
somebody out of time.
out of the
Right.
past. And I guess they do
They
it
wipe their
right before
memory.
they die because
Only
they don't
when
want to
they
mess with the
have
time
exact-
stream or
The
whatever.
exact time coordinates and
Yeah.
space coordinates to be able to pull somebody out.
And
So,
so
somebody
that's,
that died on camera during a fiery car crash.
so Emilio Estevez is in 1991, and his car crashes into a bridge, something that's on the racetrack, goes over the racetrack, and they never find the body in 91 because it's been stolen, brought through time by Mick Jagger and his machine to be a body for Anthony Hopkins' consciousness that's uploaded to the spiritual switchboard. So that's
McCandles. He was McCandles.
McCandles, yeah. So that's kind of how the movie starts, and things don't go as planned. Emilio Estevez is supposed to be kind of
Brain
lobotomized
dead,
by
yeah.
electricity, so they can just use the body and the brain, put the consciousness in the new brain. But he ends up escaping, and he's on the run. And the rest of the movie is about him going through town. Oh, it also had what's his face that played his agent.
Yeah, the guy that was in Scrooged as the Ghost of Christmas, Past.
Yeah.
He also
Yeah.
had a couple of hit songs
Oh, really? I
back
didn't
in
know
the
that.
day.
He's saying.
Yeah. He was a singer.
Oh.
But he goes through the future. Emilio Estevez running from Mick Jagger and trying to get to the bottom of what's really going on and find his girlfriend, which he does, and they kind of team up. And I won't spoil the ending for you. Who actually it is that wants the body to put his consciousness in, but. I will say it's got a lot of interesting twists and turns. It's got some interesting CGI in it from the early 90s. It's much better than what's that movie we watched last time with the dissolving person that goes against the energy net
Oh,
out in
anything
the
was better
desert.
than that. I thought you were talking about Last Elevator.
Cyber Seeker. It's much better than the CGI in our last movie, Cyber Seeker, although it's still very, very 90s because it's 92. It's probably made in 91 and put out in 92. And, but yeah, it's exciting. It's got some really cool. Actually, my favorite part of the movie is probably the car chases and the chase scenes because they really want to drive home that he is a race car driver. So Emilio Estevez, that is, and so him running from, in different vehicles and stuff like that is pretty cool. But if you're looking for an early '90s kind of sci-fi action movie with some of the biggest stars at the time, because this wasn't too far after Repo Man, I don't think. Came out.
This was like right after Young Guns.
Oh, Young Guns. So Emilio Estevez was basically on top of the world at the time.
Yeah.
And what was the one where he was working man or Men at Work?
Him and his brother.
Yeah. So he was he was pretty big time at this time. Yeah.
You would recognize David Johansen, aka Buster Poindexter, from the song "Hot Hot Hot."
Did he sing the song "Hot Hot Hot"?
Yes.
And he was his agent in Freejack, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's got some funny scenes. The nun is pretty funny. You have to keep in mind they don't really say what happened. Some kind of major depression or something happened. This old bum talks about, and everything is polluted. Like because in the beginning I was wondering why don't they just take somebody that's already there and use that body, and then the agent explains that everybody is so messed up from pollution and drugs
and
diseases and viruses that the only clean bodies they can find are ones from the past before the earth got all screwed up with pollution and disease and stuff. So that's why they steal bodies from the past. Mick Jagger, I thought was pretty good, for being a singer. I don't. Has he been in other movies too, or?
I think he has, but nothing, pops out as memorable.
This is a pretty big budget movie. I mean,
it was a little generic, but I really enjoyed the one-liners in this.
The car chase scenes and the nun were probably my favorite part of the movie. What about you guys?
I liked Mick Jagger's one-liners.
Yeah.
And playing off of Emilio Estevez, how am I doing? Not bad.
Not bad. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a fun movie. I loved it. It was a lot better than most of the movies we've seen recently.
Let's say it's definitely one of the better movies we've seen on the show.
And it was a tech-adjacent movie.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you guys about that. Do you think that is a possibility in the future to upload your consciousness to a computer?
That might happen to some degree. I don't know how total it will be.
I mean, do you think you would have your memories from being who you once were and stuff, so that, or do you think it'd be just a simulation of you?
It would just be
definitely be a simulation of you. Yeah. But oddly enough, I think it'd be easier to pull your memories out than it would be to shove them into something else or somebody else.
How would you even pull them out?
Brainwaves are just electricity.
Yeah, synapses are synapses.
Right. To pull them out.
Rebuild your brain as a neural network or something silly like that.
All right.
Turn you into data.
Like an exact replica of your brain, just with electronics.
Yeah.
Software.
And I don't mean like turn you into digital data. I mean turn you into Data, the android.
Right.
Star Trek.
So do you think they would put you into like an android body?
Could, sure. I mean, if they could pull you out in any way, they could probably shove you into another robot, into a robot.
Sure, there's millions of movies with that theme, probably, right?
Yeah, but the first ones are gonna suck.
Oh, of course. Never be the first. You want to be like the number 900th
Right.
after they've worked out all the bugs.
Yeah, and then they look at the guy that got the first guy that did it, and they're like, "Ha ha,
Yeah.
you suck."
You know, because everybody this was a trend for a while. I don't know if it's still going on, but people had their heads like cryogenically frozen after they died. You know, like I think there's a famous baseball player whose head is frozen. Ted Williams.
Disney.
I was gonna say Walt Disney. Yeah.
Oh, Walt Disney is frozen head.
Well, that's what they
Cryogenically
say.
frozen.
That's what they say.
Is that actually true? I thought that was
I
I
don't
don't
urban
think
legend.
so.
I don't know.
I think
Half of
Ted
those
Williams' head is
cryogenics
actually
places-
frozen.
Yeah, half of those cryogenic places have had some kind of shutdown over the years, and yeah,
Power
Yeah,
outage.
yeah, what happens then?
rotting meat rots.
Right?
You just got a football basically to toss around. What do you think, Lovecraft?
Oh, I liked it. I thought it was good. I saw this one in the theater when it came out, like opening night. So I was really on board with seeing it when it originally came out. I watched it probably 3 or 4 times since then, and just again a couple days ago. So no, it was good, and I know I really like the vehicles and the little tanks and stuff like that they made. I thought they did pretty good with what they had access to make it work, and yeah, some pretty big names in it though. I definitely liked it.
I did like the vehicles. You bring up a good point. It's pretty cool. The armored carriers and stuff, and
Yep, yeah, they looked pretty good.
like the sports car that Rene
But they
Russo
didn't have
was in.
self-driving cars.
No, they had computer screens though. Remember when the laptop kept opening up?
Yeah,
when
it
you
kept popping
Oh,
showing-
open.
that was hilarious. Oh no, I'm afraid of the dark.
Now, why did the guy keep saying, the bodyguard keeps saying, as long as you keep my grandma happy?
Because he actually explained that a lot of people didn't have hope, but the Freejack, what was his name?
Emilio Estevez.
Yeah,
Alex Furlong.
Alex
Yes.
Furlong, thank you, was defying the system, and so that was bringing people hope. I mean, basically, the guy out on the pier said the same thing,
Okay.
that he was bringing hope, and same thing with the bodyguard that died. His grandma was happy that somebody was bucking the system.
Got it. Okay.
How do you think the name Alex Furlong was a nod to Edward Furlong and Terminator, since that had coming from the future back to the past?
Maybe.
I thought it was kind of a nod to racing because horses race in furlongs and distance and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true too. Hey, Russo was hot. Now they didn't really do too much aging, I don't think.
No, they kind of picked somebody that could have been any age-ish. So they did okay with that. And there was the mildest of gratuitous nudity. Barely any at all.
Who was nude in this?
There was the scene in the club. Flash by for a second. Seriously. And then the closest they came other than that was when he was outside of the whorehouse. And that was electrical tape.
Rose got these eagle eyes for nudity on screen. I didn't even notice that. Now, do you remember the first time you saw this?
Not specifically. It was probably like, well, what year did it come out? 91?
91, 92.
So it was probably like 92, 93 that I saw it, and it would
Okay.
have been at home.
Yeah. I was just wondering if you remember how long it took you to pick up that it was going to be Anthony Hopkins' character that inhabit.
I don't remember specifically on that one.
I picked that up pretty quickly. And I thought, well, he's probably in love with her, and this is the only way that. Well, by the way, spoilers.
There weren't a whole lot of surprises in this movie.
Yeah. I give it a thumbs up.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, I thought the ending was funny.
There's a lot of CGI in the ending too when they finally meet Anthony Hopkins, McDiddle, whatever.
And they're doing the brain transfer.
Oh yeah. He's got his hands on the Tesla balls or whatever, shooting sparks everywhere.
Not even close.
But I thought that he really did know the code, the security code of that guy. I didn't realize he was lying, and Mick Jagger knew he was lying.
So didn't he tell him to enter in a bunch of numbers and to hit enter to transfer over?
Mm-hmm. But that was just BS.
To delete them. It was, yeah.
Right. So I figured that whatever those numbers were his code numbers, social security number, whatever the hell you want to call it.
McCandles can't drive.
McCandles, that's his name.
McCandlez, I think it was.
We pick the next movie?
Sure.
Go for it. I think we've got to start adding more to the list again.
Probably.
Twister would count as a tech movie.
It's Dominion, The Last Star Warrior from 2015.
Oh, that sounds like garbage.
This is the one that Netminer picked, right?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, it is. Because he just said Dominion, I think. Either that or The Last Star Warrior, or something like that, and we had to figure out which one he was talking about.
Well,
Minion, The Last Star Warrior.
He said he liked it. Sci-fi action.
You don't trust anything I say I like.
As you have proven yourself.
From experience.
Experience that cannot be trusted. 3.6 stars on IMDb. Looks like our kind of movie. 5 days the world changed as a retired intelligent agent turned UFO investigator races to discover the fate of the human race. An alien observer searches for the human woman he loves. Recognize these actors. Barry Lynch.
Freevee?
Travis Hammer.
It's on Freevee, it's on Pluto TV, the Roku channel, it's on Tubi.
Boo Boo Stewart.
Boo Boo Stewart. Did you see?
Oh, Boo Boo.
I remember Boo Boo Stewart.
We have an IMDb link for that?
Oh, yeah. Let me put it on there.
I don't remember Boo Boo Stewart.
You don't remember good old Boo Boo Stewart?
Good old Boo Boo.
Wasn't she up for an Oscar several times?
He
got robbed.
Every time.
Or he? Is it a he? Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Got long hair. I just saw the thumbnail.
He was evidently in the Twilight Saga.
Oh, there you go.
See?
Which is why I don't remember him.
Who the hell names their kid Boo Boo?
It reminds me of Jay and Silent Bob.
Sit, Boo Boo, sit.
Good dog.
He received a record deal at the age of
Boo
12 with Walt Disney
Boo Boo Kitty.
Records,
Yeah.
touring with acts such as the Jonas Brothers, Miley Cyrus, and the Cheetah Girls.
Stefan Blackheart.
Child star at one time. Still acting. Lots of TV movies. Have to look forward to. So, I guess just a quick update of what I've been doing.
Can it be quick?
Yeah, I woke up this morning and everything was down. My servers, I couldn't reach anything. And I looked and the server was on, the proxy was on. I could access Proxmox at the proxy using a local IP. And I looked at npm, Nginx Proxy Manager, it was running. Then I saw a little red one-liner that says your SSL certificate has expired, and it was my wildcard cert that I used for everything. So that's why everything was down. But luckily, before I had created the wildcard cert, I had created individual certs for services, and so I was able to restore those to each subdomain and check out what happened. And apparently, so I had Google Domains, which was bought by Squarespace, and Squarespace doesn't do wildcard certs unless you fulfill two prerequisites. One, it has to be either a .com or a .org domain. Mine is .dev. Number two, you have to be a premium subscriber, which me at $12 a year, not premium. So they don't give you access to their API key to create a token, which you use for what's called a DNS challenge to create a wildcard SSL certificate. So I can't use wildcard certs anymore. So I am probably going to go with Cloudflare, not only for DNS, but also for transfer my whole domain over to Cloudflare. I don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon. Do you guys have any experience with Cloudflare? Everybody here talks about them, has great things to say about them. So I just don't have any experience with them. But when I looked at the registrar website, they say that they don't, like if you go to pricing, I would do all I would need would be the free application services, which gives you your domain, your DNS, all kinds of stuff comes with it. It's free, but you still have to pay. They say they don't add anything to, let me see. Okay, this is how they say. The application services are free. It says unmetered DDoS mitigation, universal SSL certificate, fast, easy to use DNS, globally load balance CDN, and more. And it says, it's something interesting. Website. Something about how they don't charge you for domains. They only pass on what they have to pay for the domain. Sense. Okay, our mission is to build a better internet. We believe every website should have free access, foundational security, and performance. Get your site up and running with our free plan features. Why our free plan is so good. Cloudflare always has and always will offer a generous free plan for many reasons. We are a privacy-first customer. How do we offer a free CDN with unlimited bandwidth? Can't find where they said why or how they charge you, but it's something about they don't upsell you on anything. It's just whatever they have to pay. And then if you want to use their additional services, pay for those. So like I would only pay like, you know, however much it costs for the domain. Where did domains come from originally?
ICANNs?
ICANN. That's who you pay the ICANN.
They still oversee everything,
Yeah, so
from what I know.
you pay them through Cloudflare, but Cloudflare doesn't add anything on top of that to try to make money. So supposedly it's really cheap. I would only pay what ICANN charges basically. So anyway, that's the story of the domains. The next tech thing I've been involved in is getting the BBS up and running. I think last time I called it a BBC, which is totally different. Has nothing to do with what I was trying to do. But the BBS, we had experimented with it before, and then I had trouble getting it to work behind a proxy to access through a browser, and so I decided to start over. And it's called Enigma 1/2, and it's a modern BBS server that you can host on anything really. I mean, like you can host on a tiny SBC, or you know, it's not as small as like Synchronet or something like that, but it's got a lot more features, and it also has WebSockets, so you can proxy it and then host it in a browser. But we did a whole episode one night where all we talked about was our experiences with old school BBSs and stuff. I don't think Honky was here at one. You weren't here, were you, Honky? I don't think you were.
I think so.
Were you?
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody wasn't here, but anyway, so we talked about that, and I think it's called Blast from the Past on YouTube. If you can find it on there, and then you'll see the episode number to find the podcast. But so I was able to. I tried setting it up on Debian 12. They give you a script to use, and the script kept failing when building Node, or the Node services, the JavaScript modules, using Node 14, because that's what the script pulls in is Node Node 14. Yeah, that's right, using NVM. And it kept failing building, so I made a issue on GitHub, and he told me it should work fine. You can try it with a manual install. So I did the manual installation on Debian 12 using Node 20, the latest version, 20 or 21, something like that. And but the script doesn't work with, or the Enigma won't work with that late of a release of Node. So I told him, well, it doesn't work. And he said, well, but I tried something different. I tried using the script on Debian 11, and it built fine. So there's something going on between Debian 12 and Debian 11 as far as which version of Node you can use on which version of Debian. So he said he used on his host 18, version 18. So I did a manual install and built it using Node 18. I think all I had to pull in was like curl and build essentials. And, I mean, that's all I had to install really, and Node 18 using NVM. And it built fine on Debian 12. So if you have any interest on a modern BBS server, check out Enigma 1/2 and make sure if you're going to use Debian 12, the latest version of Node should be 18, and it'll build. I mean, he's got an issue going now to see how to get it to build with 20 and stuff. But anyway, so I got it up and running. If I open ports on my router, you could access it through Telnet or SSH. Currently, I have them closed because the next step is to get it to where you can run it in a browser, and there is a module called VTX that uses WebSockets from the server so that you can embed it in a browser page. And if I can get that working, we could embed it at the LinuxLUGcast.com. I think it's just a snippet of code you would add to a page. Then people could access the LUGcast BBS through the browser. And I wouldn't have to worry about opening up ports on my router. And it would all be behind SSL and stuff. So I could just send Honky the code snippet, and if he wanted to, he could put it on the official LinuxLUGcast website. And we'd have LUGcast land, LUGcast BBS, the LinuxLUGcast official BBS. You could go back to the past and play mud games and door games, and you can do file transfers and chat boards and all that stuff. It has all that stuff already built in.
Why not do this on the Lugcast lab?
Or we could do it there too, yeah. Yeah, I have it on the Atomic Pi because I wasn't using it for anything. But the Lugcast lab is a good idea. That's what it's for.
It will actually get us using it as opposed to, just me piddling around on there every now and again.
That's a very good idea. So when I get the WebSocket proxy thing figured out, then I can just install it on the Lugcast lab and have a BBS on our official lab. So that'll be my project for this weekend. Probably is just
Get a copy of Zork on there.
You could put Zork on there. You could put what was the one that not Tech Wars?
Trade Wars.
Trade Wars. Yeah, Lovecraft knows all this stuff.
Yeah, there's Trade Wars, Barren Realms Elite. There's a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, it's got a lot of cool games on there that's already part of the server. I can put the everything else kind of been on hold. Pretty busy lately, so I haven't done anything really hardware related. Think of.
Do you use it for printer at all?
No. Joe will be sad to find out that I haven't 3D print, haven't even 3D printed a bed leveling print. So.
Well, did you get your bed issue solved?
Maybe.
That would be a no. You haven't touched it since the last show.
I haven't.
Just doesn't know at this point. Well, you put the new bed on, but you haven't tried it out yet.
No, I haven't tried it. Not tried it, but I know what I'm going to print. One of the first things I'm going to print is those little cases for the ESP32 cams that I want to put on, next to the bird feeder and stuff like that. It'd be fun.
That's cool. Tablet holder, phone holder.
But definitely will build lots of or print lots of cases for my different single board computers. Like I need to build a case I can mount that the little Orange Pi to the printer for the that runs Octoprint on it. I have a little cable running into the printer to control it and stuff. I upgraded to Fedora 40. I haven't really messed with it much. I don't know what that means, mordancy. That means you love Fedora, I guess.
I didn't like it when it was Red Hat after they switched to Gnome. They
Well,
got
I'm
rid
using
of
KDE.
Enlightenment as the Windows manager.
I've been running KDE for several years now. Which, speaking of that,
XFCE and Fluxbox. Blackbox. Only way to go.
there's a proposal to switch the default desktop for Fedora Workstation from GNOME to KDE Plasma. Talking about it, I'll just post that in the show notes. Maybe for Fedora 42.
What's that mean for Red Hat?
There's also some tech things, unless you guys want to go ahead. Be the only one talking. Couple of things I wanted to bring up, but important. Lovecraft, what about that little computer you had with the touchscreen? Y'all remember that? The little Windows computer he had? He was going to use for a media controller.
I already talked about my stuff.
Honky got gypped on 2 mobos. Fortunately, I feel bad for you for waiting for that long, and then happens again. So there was a article, Tech Rights. I don't know if you guys ever read that. It's this unhinged British man talking about Linux. See if I can find the article real quick. But he's funny. Yeah, I mean, he's pro Linux, not against Linux. And he talks about, I'm trying to find a link. Oh, so many dang links. Talks about Richard Stallman.
Okay, so it's not the guy from Learning Computers.
No, but that guy's not really unhinged. He has a very monotone voice. If this guy has anything on YouTube, you would know. If he talks like he writes, anyway. Can't find it. I'll post it in a minute, but find it. He says people who defend Richard Stallman. See, Richard Stallman was going to give a talk, which was thought to be canceled, but then was found out to be delayed. I don't know if it's because of his cancer. If anybody doesn't know, Richard Stallman has lymphoma, I believe, and but it was delayed, and it may have been to his health. But so this guy says, is it hearsay to say that Richard Stallman should be allowed to give public talks? This even be a subject of controversy at all? So they published a video saying that canceling Stallman's talks is not okay. He says, Stallman is a living old man with cancer. He understands certain topics better than anyone else, and we should welcome his views on these particular topics. But readers have reached out to him saying, since defending Stallman, I've unfortunately become a target myself, which has led me to remove certain videos. So his point is that not only is Stallman getting canceled, but people that are saying that Stallman should have the right to hold talks on technology are getting canceled and threatened as well. What do you guys think about that?
I think if you sneeze wrong, you get canceled, but, you know, it's difficult to support Stallman in any way.
But his talks are about free software. They're not about his political views or anything like that. And he has been a great ambassador as far as I can't think of anybody else that gives as many talks, goes to as many countries, has learned as many languages to give these talks into the people's native languages wherever he travels, as Richard Stallman.
So, how does one get canceled on the internet?
By saying something anybody objects to?
No, I mean, you're always going to have people angry at you and posting crap. So how does one get canceled? How does one get enough shit get enough bad comments that they take something that they'll actually take videos down from somewhere?
Well, it's not evidently it's not all that difficult to do on YouTube, especially
It
if
just
you're
takes
not one of
the
the
right person complaining.
Yeah, or the right volume of people complaining.
Okay, I found
what do you what would you have to do? Like, if I wanted to cancel somebody, what would I have to do?
Convince other people that this person should also be canceled?
But he's saying, like, what is entailed in the act of canceling somebody? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, basically.
So,
convincing whatever platform they're on to deplatform them, or to make it so that they can't make money there, or to threaten them in such a way that you know, they actually feel threatened and leave.
So this is what the guy said. He says, since defending Stallman, one reader told me, I've unfortunately become a target myself, which has led me to remove the original video, which he was talking about Stallman. I'm trying to figure out why, regarding the video, I noticed removal days later by sheer coincidence. My guess as to the cause of it going private was correct. Abuse was directed at the person who had made the video. Trying to see what kind of abuse exactly. The person said the topic needed to be addressed since it is coordinated attack on software freedom by going after varied individuals. And the author says these people have been doing this for years, and attacks on myself, even on my wife, intensify when I oppose this canceled mob. They go as far as to defame me in public. It's really horrible, and there's several links. I guess in the case of RMS and others, one has to look at his contributions against the push of the cancel culture. The cancel culture is not about beneficial behavior, but instead just a witch hunt, although that term is overused and abused to distract from contributions. The focus needs to be on his contributions. These talks that he's giving are about his work, not some difficult political subjects. But it doesn't say like what actually happened to them to make them take down the videos, just that they were the subject of abuse. Like he had to remove it from YouTube. But I don't know like how it sounds like self-censorship more than anything because of online abuse, whatever that entails. But the author of Tech Rights says, and I read some of his stuff about him being attacked. which was kind of weird, like threatening his family and wife and children and things like that. He doesn't really say why. He is very outspoken and unhinged, but I haven't seen anything that he said that is like patently untrue or mean as in against certain minorities or minority groups. But these blogs that they posted are crazy about this guy. One blog, these fake blogs. Let me post a link. I'll post it right under the. You ought to read the title of some of these blogs, and this is the actual domain owner of Tech Rights. So they wrote blogs titled. His name is Roy Shestowitz. It says, Roy Shestowitz got me pregnant and abandoned us, was one blog title. It shows a picture of him. Neo-Nazi group Combat 18 learned OPSEC from Roy Shestowitz. A piece of history, how Roy Shestowitz got a hold of Adolf Hitler's cutlery. How Roy Shestowitz and I infiltrated a government office and stole an email, database, and laptop. A grocery store incident involving Roy Shestowitz that involved a physical altercation. Roy Shestowitz and his love for the Unabomber. Just crazy stuff, But you could go through there and it's according to him, it's all just fake blogs that were written by people that hate him for some reason. Roy Shestowitz obsession for paying with coins extended to strip clubs. Pretty, awesome. At least they're creative,
Make it rain.
Yeah, just throw a bunch of pennies in the air or something.
You load it all up into a t-shirt launcher.
Yeah, just shoot it.
Now, there are figures that I will defend their work, but that doesn't mean I defend some of their politics or what they've said. And to me, it seems like today people don't make that distinction. Like they don't have an eye for nuance. Either they don't, because they're ignorant, or they do it on purpose. They just want to attack somebody, maybe. But I like Roman Polanski's films. I'm a big fan of his films, but supposedly he's a rapist, which is not cool, Woody Allen, I love his films, but can't marry your stepdaughter. That's just gross.
Yeah.
But I think it's okay to like and to praise certain works of people that may have faults otherwise. I don't think you should be punished for that or quote unquote canceled. I really don't know what canceled means either. I mean, I think from what I've heard, people that have been canceled have had like Twitter campaigns against them, bringing up old tweets or jokes they made in the past, and it's caused them to lose their jobs. I guess that's a form of canceling.
All you have to do is apologize. I'm sorry you were offended by what I said.
Yeah, and that just increases your canceling.
That
you get double
everything.
canceled.
Yeah.
You're canceled twice, all right?
I think it was Jimmy Carr who said that, and he also says he identifies as he, because he's a comedian.
So, yeah, I don't know. I just thought I'd bring that up because I just read it the other day, and I think it's okay to make videos about Stallman, pointing out his contributions. But I think making those videos doesn't mean that you support some of the other things he said, Gotta make that distinction. Or I think when the more people you have, the larger the mob mentality gets. I think it's when it's individual people, they understand that there's a nuance there. But the larger that group grows, then you get that cancel mob mentality. I mean, there's some people I believe should be canceled, you know, because they're genuine pieces of shit. But I don't think Richard or RMS is a piece of shit. Basically, he has some out there opinions on things, but certain issues. But I don't think he's just a piece of shit.
There's some people I just wonder how they haven't been canceled yet.
Yeah, there's that too.
Just
South Park?
South Park.
No.
Have y'all seen the
I don't think South Park would
ChatGPT
ever be
episode
canceled. I
yet?
think it would take them to just stop. Just be like, all right, we're done. We've done enough. We're burnt out.
Well, Matt and Trey ran their own cancel South Park thing one season.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Well, they tried to cancel Married with Children. They've tried to cancel The Simpsons several times. I'm sure Futurama had people speaking out against it. But,
I remember the Futurama uproar was about the Jamaican character they have on there.
Really?
Yeah.
But he's a great character. He's
awesome.
a nice character, and he's the.
Yeah. It's just they didn't like it. They is.
well, Apu got canceled.
What did?
Simpsons.
Apu.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But, some people you try to cancel and they just don't go away. For example, Jake Paul.
Who?
Jake
Oh, yeah.
Paul
He'll be fighting here in Dallas.
against Mike Tyson.
Yeah. Did y'all
Mike
hear about
Tyson
that?
might be like 60-something, but I'm hoping he just knocks his block off.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Oh, dude.
Why did Jake Paul try to almost get canceled?
He basically did a video in what was that? The suicide forest in Japan or something, where he found a dead body and then posted it online of somebody that had killed themselves. Or something like that. And people tried to cancel him at that time, and it just didn't work. He's still around. He just switched the crazy crap that he does.
So people at the recent Big Paul Mike Tyson press conference or whatever were booing him when he was coming out on stage.
Has he found a dead body?
I think they just don't like him.
That seems like a weird reason to get canceled.
No. Because he posted it.
People post. Do we need to bring up Danny's video thing on Element? How many times there are dead bodies on there, or somebody getting shot from somebody and then people just videotaped it and.
Those are random videos. That's not exploitation of a sacred cultural space.
Was it him or his brother? It was one of them.
It's a sacred.
He did have a funny line though. He was at the press conference here, in Texas, in Arlington, and when people started booing him, he said, "Y'all shut the fuck up and go milk a cow." Like all Texans are cowboys or farmers or something.
So it's a sacred.
See, not apologizing is the answer.
So the suicide forest is a sacred place.
Oh, I don't know.
Or is it just kind of a popular place where people show up and do that?
Something like that. Oh. Maybe it was Logan that it happened to. I'm trying to look it up right now. It's been years since I remember seeing this.
Logan.
Suicide, yeah. His brother. It was
Oh.
Logan Paul that did it. It wasn't
Big Paul.
It wasn't Jake, it was Logan. Suicide Forest controversy, December 31st, 2017.
So here's what he said. "Hey Dallas, shut the fuck up. Y'all keep booing. I'm going to keep doing. That's how y'all want to do it. Let's fucking do it. Keep booing. I keep doing. I told y'all you're the ultimate fucking hillbillies. Go milk a cow. Damn, he didn't give a damn. It
That's
would be
okay.
cool to see Tyson just knock his block off, though.
Yeah, Tyson
his
might
ear.
be an old man, but he's gonna rock his shit.
It said Jake Paul weighed in at 185 pounds for the Nate Diaz fight. For this fight, he now weighs upwards of 230 pounds, and Mike Tyson called him fat.
So they're booing him because his brother posted a video of finding a dead body in a secret suicide spot.
Look, yeah, it was him that did that, but it's not like Jake Paul is sunshine and roses here.
From what I understand, he's not a very likable guy.
He has rape accusations. He had cryptocurrency scams. You name it. He just not a good guy.
Okay.
Mike Tyson said, I don't know if he's in his prime. He's fat. He should be lean and mean, but he's fat and funky. I saw him with his shirt off, though, and he's fat. Jake Paul say, hey, Buster Douglas was fat, am I right? I know, but you know Buster Douglas, I'm better. I'm going to end you quicker than he did, and you'll remember that forever. You started me off. I appreciate that, Mike. I love you. I love you like a father loves his son, but I must discipline you. You're going down.
But yeah, I mean, his first scam was he was charging $7 per user to unlock a series of videos for a roadmap to success as an influencer.
Isn't he promoting that sports drink that I see everywhere now?
Prime,
yeah.
That's got so much potassium
South Park
in it,
made fun
kills
of it.
people.
Oh, did they? What is it supposed to be, like Gatorade or something?
Except that instead of salt, it has potassium, which is great if you have low potassium. But otherwise, if you have like more than 2 or 3 of those, you're basically poisoning yourself.
Well, it's not. You're saying it's not good for you.
No. Yeah, he threw parties during the pandemic. He attended a riot at an Arizona mall and an FBI raid.
All right, so he's just a shithead.
Oh, and he's one of those people that bought property in Puerto Rico to do, tax evasion.
I was going to bring this up too. Honky, you may be surprised that I'm starting to agree with you on this subject. We talked about this a long time ago, and it's I forgot who we were talking about. Maybe you remember, but you basically said that all rich people are evil, and can't remember who we were talking about.
It's kind of just a general statement I have.
Yeah, I've been thinking
about that.
Once
you get a certain amount of money.
And I'm starting to go to your side that rich people are pieces of shit. Now, I mean, like, really wealthy people, like...
Right.
And I'll put a few qualifiers out there. I don't... If their wealth is calculated by including, like, their company and not their actual personal wealth, I think that's different than personal wealth. And I think that personal wealth, there's a point where you've accumulated enough and the rest should be given away to charity or to people that could actually use it, instead of jumping in a fucking homemade submarine and going to see the Titanic and being crushed at the bottom of the ocean, which I kind of think those people deserve that a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. It might be a kind of a hot take, but I kind of think if you can just throw away money like that, you might be kind of a piece of shit. So,
the big thing is, I to be able to make it to that level of having that much money, they couldn't, or I firmly believe you can't be doing everything on the up and up.
Right.
You're doing something shady or shitty somewhere. And a lot of times when people get that amount of money too, they all of a sudden feel like they can do whatever they want, whether it's just they can, get in trouble with the police and they can pay somebody off with or use and to kind of shuffle things away, things that other people would be going to jail for a while. You kind of were able to get a pass because you threw some money at it, or threw money at it, got yourself a really good lawyer and were able to get out of it. My general opinion is you're not going to find many who have a large amount of money and haven't done something very shitty in their time, or or made money with shitty practices.
But there's also the thing that, like, we just had a huge donation of $100 million here in Dallas to build a children's hospital from a couple.
That's a tax write-off. That's what that is.
But that's
money that they don't have to. They can now write off on their taxes.
Yeah, but they still are losing money on that.
Yeah, I mean,
part of it is
writing off on taxes isn't that big a thing. All that does is reduce your income when it comes to tax season. So,
I mean, the tax
you are paying less in taxes, but you're just paying against less of a percentage of your total income.
It's definitely not going to be $100 million, which is what they gave away. And so that's part of it too, is like, and then I was thinking, well, they had that money to give away, which they did, which is a good thing. But couldn't they have easily just, if they had that kind of business acumen or whatever to have that money in the first place, personal wealth, wouldn't they have the business acumen to set up a trust or a charity that could have raised that money? It wasn't their actual personal wealth, and then so they weren't just sitting on hundreds of millions of dollars all the time, So, I mean, it's like, I think of it that way, like, for them to be not a piece of shit, is it better that they had saved that money so that they could give it away, or should they have created a charity that would have that money? I remember when I was a kid watching Bill Gates did this interview, and he said, at the time he had the most expensive house in it may have been the world. I know it's at least in the U.S. It cost $40 million, which today there's houses worth way more, mansions in the States more than that. But anyway, the reporter asked him, how can you justify spending $40 million on a house just for you and your family and nobody else, when there's so many homeless people in the world and all this that could use that, and you don't need that much. But anyway, he said, me spending $40 million on a house is like your average middle-class American spending $40 on a house. He said, that's how much that money is worth to me, is worth as much as $40 to a middle-class American. That's how rich he was at the time. And then I thought, man, there is something wrong system today if that is comparable to $40. How much, and that was his personal wealth. So at that time, I always remember that interview, and it just like stuck out to me.
I am very hesitant about just about any charity, just because if I don't like the idea of giving my money up to somebody who could possibly be making a profit over what I'm giving them money for. So in other words, if the charity has somebody who is basically, I don't like the idea that I'm just straight up handing money to somebody who's making a profit or makes more than I do to work for or run that charity. That doesn't seem right to me
You
at
know-
all. The money should just basically go straight to me, to somebody whose basic job is just go here to something else.
Right.
That should be the charity. Not there shouldn't be nobody who is making a couple $100,000 a year just to be able to sit there and just say and to walk up and go run this charity. That shouldn't be.
But what if the charity benefits by having a higher paid person in a position like that because they're that good at their job at raising money?
I don't care. I'm not giving my money to somebody else.
But if they're that
I'm giving
good,
my money to a cause, not
well, I
to
know
somebody
that,
else.
but what I'm saying is they're that good at that job that they are able to raise way more money than the next person in line who would make a lot less money.
Then all of that money should be going to the fucking charity. It's a charity.
Yeah, but
not that person. It's a charity.
How can they raise that amount of money without somebody that has that valuable skill set?
It doesn't matter. Then you've missed the whole fucking point of a charity in the first place.
I don't know. I'm just being devil's advocate here. But you know what I do hate is when I go to the grocery store.
Don't tell that to Trump.
Is when I go to the grocery store and they say, "Would you like to donate?"
Right.
$3 to. You are the multi-billion-dollar international corporation. Why are you asking me, who has to clip coupons to shop at your fucking store, if I want to donate? That gets under my skin sometimes,
And technically, they do.
They take your money and then they count it as their donation, and they get the tax write-off for it.
There you go. Yeah.
It all depends. Again, I am not very. I have a hard time with a lot of charities because of the fact of I don't like the idea of charity should just basically going. This is going to that, and then that should be it. If you want to cancer research, then you have a research center. It's going towards that, and it should be the people actually doing research, not like some doctor who shows up like once a month and collects a fucking paycheck and does like maybe 2 days of actual work. Somebody actual active work and actually like something that's actually helping people.
What do you think about the CEO of Mozilla making all that money for a nonprofit? That good?
No.
I knew you'd say that. Look how good Mozilla has done. Just run Firefox
they're
into the
doing
ground.
so great.
Yeah. All the wonderful services, their social network they built and that nobody's ever heard of, and
laying off all those people.
Money they sunk into the ground, basically.
Right. Yeah.
There's speaking of billionaires, I thought this was interesting. There's a billionaire who wants to buy TikTok, but he wants to decentralize it. I haven't heard that take yet. Buying TikTok.
He wants to decentralize it?
Yeah, so would it be... He doesn't go into detail. He has his own decentralized protocol. And he's always... Supposedly he's been a campaigner for a free and open web and stuff. I don't know how he made his money, but... He just said he wants to decentralize TikTok. So I don't know if that would... I would think the easiest way to do that would be something like IPFS, where everybody runs a node and central server or whatever. Because even Peertube is, like Peertube, Mastodon, there's a lot of small centers, each service, or and there's even some large centers. As far as like big, like Mastodon.social is huge and stuff. So you could almost say that's centralization. It's just not one center. But technologies like IPFS and stuff like that to me are truly decentralized because everybody that uses it, if you want to use it, you have to run a node. So
right.
Peertube is a little bit better as far as that goes because you are sharing bandwidth by actually watching a video, you know. And it tells you that too, that your IP address may be exposed. That's just the nature of the technology. You have to share the bandwidth to watch the video. Anyway, I'll put that link in the show notes. I haven't heard that take yet.
What has been going on with the states that want to try to ban TikTok?
Oh, it's not the states now.
Oh, it's federal?
Yep.
Oh, fantastic.
Actually, it was already signed, right?
Yes, they have 1 year to sell to a non-Chinese company, but they're going to fight it in court, and that will push it out probably another year or two.
And they're going with the First Amendment defense, right? I think that's what I heard.
Yep.
Hey.
White dance. Yeah, it was signed. It was actually signed. I think to get it passed, they had to put in that clause that to give it at least a year or something.
Something like that.
I mean, yeah, you could still watch it with the VPN or whatever, just like people do porn, but I mean, it will effectively kill TikTok in the US.
Are you saying you have a VPN set up so that you can go to Pornhub?
I'm saying they exist.
I'm saying you're in Texas, so...
Oh, I posted a link to Calyx. Do you guys know Calyx? We've talked about them before.
Yeah, there's a handful of phones that you can install it on, mostly the Pixels that
Right,
support the
Calyx
encryption,
OS.
the encrypted chip. Yeah. They used to have a cell service, 5G service also.
Tell me what it is.
I don't know if they have it anymore. It's
I'm
an operating system and a
VPN.
Organization.
Yes, nonprofit.
So it's got a built-in VPN?
I put it in the show notes. So Calyx, it says your phone should be private. Everybody needs a phone. Not everybody wants to be spied on. Reclaim your privacy with Calyx OS. It's an Android mobile operating system that puts privacy and security into the hands of everyday users. Plus, protective security recommendations and automatic updates take the guesswork out of keeping your personal data personal. So devices are kind of limited. There's a list on the website. But also, Calyx itself is a...
institute?
Yeah, the Calyx Institute, I think you're right, is a nonprofit institute. Well, our mission is to educate the public about privacy and digital communications and to develop tools that anyone can use. By embracing privacy by design, we help make digital security and privacy more accessible to everyone. Didn't you get the membership, mordancy, or did you just talk about it, or the mobile?
I was talking about it. I was going to get it. There was a lifetime membership at one point, which I think was like $750, and you got the 5G, 6G service, but they stopped selling it because they couldn't get the mobile hotspot router things.
Oh, the actual hardware.
Yeah. And I've never gone back and looked at it, but one of the guys I used to work with runs it.
So they list the mobile internet. If you want to join that, you get an internet membership and enjoy unlimited 4G or 5G mobile internet in all U.S. states, territories. Let's see, that's you enroll in that. I forgot how. Oh, here it is. Okay. Sign up for a new Contributor Plus membership. Get a Jetstream 5G hotspot and a year of unlimited data. It's $600 for the first year, and renewal dues are $500 a year or $175 a quarter. So it's a 5G modem you get. Comes with Wi-Fi 6, USB tethering. Sure.
Is it truly unlimited?
It says so.
Okay.
Unlimited data.
Looking at this, it looks like it has some. It's probably missing like all the Google services stuff, but it looks like the default text message app is Signal, and it comes with the Tor browser built in and free and trusted VPNs.
Yeah, which you can use. What's the reason I brought this up is because you can currently use their VPN now. It's free to use if you want to. It doesn't cost you anything.
Right.
It's on F-Droid.
It has F-Droid and Aurora Store built in, and it uses micro G to replace some of the functions of Google Play services. And then, let's see, it has a built-in firewall. It allows tethered devices to use VPN or Tor. And it uses Cloudflare DNS, or it can use Cloudflare DNS. Mozilla location services. And
that's the phone or the OS?
Yeah, this is the OS. Gnome Atom available as default geocoding service, so your GPS. Automatic updates. Turn off Wi-Fi when not used. It will automatically turn off your device if it hasn't been opened in X amount of time, thus requiring the PIN to unlock.
If you join, you get for the Privacy Defender tier, it's $600 for first year, $10 thereafter, and you get a Pixel 4a with 5G. For the Privacy Champion tier, is $700 for first year, $10 thereafter for the Pixel 6a.
It looks like for the calling, it's automatically set up to use the encrypted Signal or WhatsApp from the dialer. That's interesting.
It says you still need to sign up with the mobile carrier.
Yeah.
But basically, you're paying this amount of money just to support the institute themselves. But like I said, you can use their VPN for free if you want to. I think Proton has a free VPN too. I'm not sure.
I think so.
There's lots of free VPN services out there.
Okay.
One more other thing I wanted to talk about, because I wanted to see if y'all have ever heard of this. You know, we've been talking about KVMs in the past and stuff. Put this in there. But apparently this is built into, it's called Intel AMT KVM. And you can enable this on certain Intel CPUs, AMT ME, and it teaches you how to enable it on Linux. You can remotely control Intel vPro based CPUs that includes AMT using Linux. Intel Active Management Technology, which is AMT, is a combination of hardware, software, and firmware technology for remote out-of-band management of servers, desktops, and laptop computers. AMT is built into modern CPUs such as i7, i5, Xeon, look for vPro, and based on Intel ME. This shows how to remotely access Intel AMT KVM from Linux desktop when you have a vPro enabled system from Intel. DASH is an acronym for Desktop and Mobile Architecture for System Hardware, a set of DMTF specifications for standardizing the management and security of desktop and mobile client systems independent of the machine state, operating system, and hardware vendor. DASH takes full advantage of WS management. As DASH has evolved, Intel AMT has moved towards increasing support for DASH standards. I believe the earliest CPU you can use is a 6th gen Intel CPU. But so they have KVM built into Intel CPUs. This shows you how to access it. I haven't messed with it yet, so I'm not sure. OS compatibility, Alma Linux, Alpine, Arch, Debian, Fedora, Mint, OpenSUSE, Pop, RHEL, Rocky, Stream, SUSE, and Ubuntu. The only prerequisites are Intel AMD ME, which should be already in your chip.
Well, I've brought like Wi-Fi KVMs, IP KVMs onto the show before, and set them up using even like a Raspberry Pi. And I did place one link in the show notes, but
yeah, this is already built in, so you don't need an external.
Yeah, but that only controls
KVM.
one chipset.
Well, it's a pretty large range. If you have a later than 6th gen i7, i5, or Xeon, this is already built into your Intel CPU. And it uses the package called for Debian Ubuntu. Oh, it's the same one. WSMan CLI. You have to enable it in your BIOS. Anyway, I thought that was interesting that they already have KVM built into certain Intel CPUs. I'd like to try it with my server. I think that's an 11th gen i5. And plus it has a web interface as well. Any printing lately, Joe?
Oh, just the stuff I showed you, and then more headphone holders. That's about it.
Guess
Nothing
what I've been
exciting.
printing?
Huh?
Guess what I've been printing?
Nothing. I don't have to guess. Printing nothing. Because you suck.
You are correct, sir.
I know.
I admit it. I wonder how Netminer's doing with his collection of pies, what he's done lately. Been seeing a lot of Pi stuff in the internet news anyway. I guess there's a new Raspberry Pi put out their own M.2 hat or something.
Yeah, I saw that.
I think there's several aftermarket ones you can buy. Pi Pico has its own OS now called Breadboard OS somebody made. That was kind of cool. Just gives you a shell. BusyBox. Skip that.
I saw somewhere that Arch was actually going to officially support ARM and RISC now.
Oh, they didn't before? Or
I don't
ARM?
think officially, because the Arch Linux ARM project was its own project.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't officially supported by Arch.
Armbian.
Because the cool jewelry costs more than
What?
a new car.
Why'd you randomly say Armbian?
I don't know.
Armbian, isn't that? No, Armbian. No, Arch.
Armbian is
Arch.
Debian.
Yeah.
Arch,
Linux,
Arch
Linux
Arm,
ARM.
Arch.
Yeah, Arch Linux ARM, but I don't think Arch Linux ARM
That's
was
it.
officially through Arch.
So they're going to bring
It was
in.
its own separate project that was using the Arch repos.
Well, Debian officially supports ARM and RISC, I believe.
Debian officially supports just about everything, I think.
Spark even.
What's that?
Even Spark and some of the older architectures they still support.
Well, I think they dropped support for some of the much older ones.
Did they?
Yeah, but they still, I mean, they support a lot.
Any gaming?
A little
Building
bit.
games?
No, I mean, when you try to build a game and you can't make a character, I'm having a hard time making characters. That's why I wanted to do the Stable Diffusion. It kind of
Right.
slows things down a bit. But
So you haven't messed with the RPG Maker lately?
no.
Joe, you been doing anything on this Steam?
Just playing Skyrim. I'm not doing anything excessively interesting with the Steam Deck right now. I'm just playing Skyrim.
You think
Arkham
Steam
Horror.
OS will ever come out for desktop?
I hope
Official
it does.
Steam OS. Remember that was promised a long time ago?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, you could basically do the same. Yes.
Well, Steam, the Steam Deck is just basically Arch running KDE that just automatically starts into Steam Big Picture mode. With I'm sure it's got its own nuances and stuff, and just for that hardware.
Yeah, lots of optimizations for that hard. Is there talk of a Steam Deck 2 or anything?
They have the newest ones, the OLED
OLED,
version.
yeah. It'll be a little while before there's a Steam Deck too.
Does that still use the same chipset and stuff?
It
Different
has
screen?
faster RAM, if I remember right. I don't think it has a faster processor or anything, but I think it does have faster RAM, and it uses less power because of the OLED. So it has a slightly, I think it also has a slightly heavier battery. More
Well,
battery life.
Doesn't Lenovo have their own thing too now?
Yeah, the Lenovo Legion Go.
Legion Go.
A lot of different companies have come out with this handheld style right now. Most of them are running Windows except for the Steam Deck, and I think there's an Orange Pi one coming out.
Yeah, that's right. Forgot.
Orange Pi Deck or something.
It runs Orange Pi OS, I think.
Yeah, Orange Pi Neo. That's what it's called. And I think that there's a couple of other companies, since Steam hasn't released Steam OS, that have released different clones of it. And I think we'll see more of that if Steam doesn't get around to releasing. But in the end, Valve is still going to make money on it because it's running Steam.
Everybody's going to buy their games.
Yep.
Finished my little Android game, Ocean Permit. That's pretty fun. Kind of like Stardew Valley.
Okay.
Potion Permit. Yeah, instead of a farmer, you play a doctor and you craft potions to cure the villagers. And
Did you say Potion Permit?
yeah, like making potions.
Okay, I thought you said Ocean Permit.
No,
for some reason, all I could think about was like you're out there checking for people's permits while they're fishing.
Hey, I'd play that. A Coast Guard or something.
You get a little Coast Guard boat. You drive around from a bunch of people fishing. Check their the size of their fish. Make sure they're not getting ones that are too small or too big.
That'd be fun. I'd do that. Be the game warden.
That's right. Only one bucket of scallops or whatever.
sold one of my aquariums, my saltwater aquarium.
You sold it?
Yeah, I started watching this movie on Netflix called Minimalism, I think, or Minimalist or something, about these two friends that they kind of, I think they got tired of like corporate life or something anyway, but they kind of got rid of everything and tried to make it as minimal as possible. Like I wasn't trying to do that, but they basically had this line in there that said that the things that they own were starting to own them. Like they were spending so much time on possessions and stuff, and like that saltwater aquarium takes a lot of time and maintenance and stuff, and I wasn't getting the joy out of it that I used to. I still have a couple of freshwater, but those are pretty easy, but saltwater is a different beast, and I was like, yeah, free up space and resources and time especially, so I went ahead and sold it. Still got my fish though, some fish. Still got Buster, my big catfish.
Buster never tries to go for the fish.
No, not the fish themselves. I have a couple of freshwater planted tanks, and he likes to drink out of them.
Oh, all right.
And I don't know if he's ever inhaled any fish or shrimp, because I've had some come up missing that I have no idea where they went, and he may have like eaten them on accident, maybe on purpose.
Accident.
I don't know. Could be on purpose. I don't know.
Buster just was just drinking the water. This fish just accidentally jumped up right in his mouth.
And right down his throat.
Right down his throat. No idea what happened.
But I mean, the water's clean because it's got a bunch of plants in it to keep it clean, so I don't worry about that. But what he does is he won't finish his whatever food he's eating will still be in his mouth when he'll go get a drink. He'll drop cat food into the aquariums and makes them all dirty, and I'll see it. I'll wonder why I got all this algae in there, and I'll see a couple pieces of cat food in there, and it's like, oh man, dropping cat food in there. So I got covers on two of them. Another one is too big for a cover, but weird shape.
You don't give the poor kitty some water. Big old water dish right next to its food.
He has a Wi-Fi smart fountain.
Wi-Fi smart fountain
that has its own osmosis filter, and it's motion activated, and it makes splashing noises so that it makes him want to drink more water. That's how spoiled he is. When you don't have kids, this is what you spend your money on, stupid shit like Wi-Fi water fountain.
Wi-Fi? Why is it Wi-Fi?
Oh, I guess it could tell you like when he's running low on water, when you need to change the filter.
Yeah, but why not have it Ethernet?
Well, it doesn't have an Ethernet port.
Why not have it wired?
It doesn't have an Ethernet port. It's Wi-Fi.
It didn't have a Wi-Fi frickin' port until, he put one on there.
No, it's built in to the fountain.
Yeah. Why couldn't they build Ethernet into the fountain? It's attached to the wall.
Why are you asking me? I don't know. But it also has a wireless motor in it that's so you can lift the whole fountain off the base and don't have any wires hanging off the fountain and clean it. And then it's got the power supply, kind of like what is it that you put your phone to charge? And it's wireless charging. That's kind of what powers the motor, and that's pretty handy. That's mainly why I bought it. So when I clean it, I can just lift it up, and I don't have to unplug it or anything. And he's got the robot litter box and all that.
Robot litter box. Did you download the app for the Wi-Fi water? Connect it every once in a while, just to kind of turn it on, try to scare the cat when it's near the water. Or?
Well, it's connected to the little Xiaomi router that I have OpenWRT on, and that's blacklisted. Mm-hmm. So all my OT devices go on that router. None of them can reach outside. So I can't really access those features on it because it can't exit my network. Now, I haven't tried to set up some kind of local LAN, but I think it has to hit some kind of Chinese server or something. I don't want that, so anything I have IoT doesn't get internet access. It only gets access to Home Assistant.
What made you choose this Wi-Fi water?
Well, just mainly the ease of cleaning it, because it's a pain in the butt. The other fountain I had to unplug it, and then you got the cable hanging behind it that you can't get wet while you're cleaning the fountain, or else it'll ruin it. And this one, it just lifts off the base, and there's no wires hanging around it. You can wash the whole thing, throw it in the dishwasher if you want, stuff like that. That's the main reason, because the wireless motor in it.
Hey guys, I'm gonna jump off. I gotta
getting
go
late.
up early tomorrow.
Yes, it is.
Okay, I'll let you know about the last number 8 of the New Year's Eve show. I'll get them done for you the next day or so.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
All right.
that's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah,
Good night, guys. Good
All right,
catching up
talk
with
to you
you.
later,
Talk
man.
to you. Bye.
Yeah, I was
Well.
barely on the New Year's show.
Me too.
Yeah, me too. I just jumped on.
Remember, right? My dog was dying.
All right.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Bad times indeed. What I'm doing when Buster does. I have him stuffed. That'd be weird.
DIY.
Would you taxidermy a cat?
No, that's too creepy, man. There's no way I can do that.
DIY taxidermy.
Yeah, why taxidermy? That's nasty.
I couldn't taxidermy little
You
Buster.
snuff them, we stuff them.
My last cat, they cremated him and put him in a little box. But I buried the box. I can't look at that, you know.
I still
We
have my
did that.
dog. It's box. It's
Yeah,
in the,
we
the
did
closet.
that with one of our cats, and we got the urn and everything. And
Uh-huh.
it was a little expensive. When my
But was it
dog
depressing? You don't get depressed when you look at it, though?
died, I
Don't look at it. It's
give
in
a
the closet.
shit.
It's hidden in the closet somewhere.
It's on the mantle.
Right by my pillow.
It's on the mantle. But it was more Jackie's cat than it was mine, so I have to ask her, because, yeah. But like my dog, I had cremated, but I did not get the ashes.
Was it too sad?
Yeah.
See, that's
What are you
I
gonna do with
think.
them? I still don't have any idea what to do with them.
Bury it.
Where? Just the backyard? Dig a
Yeah,
hole
your
and shove it in?
backyard. Make a little tombstone.
I don't
On
want
my
a
land
tombstone.
out in East Texas, we have like a little pet cemetery that my family buries their pets.
And then the pets come back to life and
So
try to eat you.
Zombie pets.
my dog had got a point near my dog started getting food aggression issues where if you got near the bowl the dish while she was eating, she would start growling at you. And she wasn't like
That later in
always.
life, or
Yeah, well, before we put her down, but we had to put her down because she bit my daughter in the face.
damn.
And my daughter was 3 years old, and she got a scar right there. So we were trying to sell the house, and somebody was coming to look at the house. So I got the dog in the car. The dog really didn't like going in the car. Always got nervous in the car. So I went to my parents' house because my parents used to pick up my kids from daycare, and my daughter jumped into the car. The dog was up in the front seat. My daughter jumped up towards the front seat to say hi to the dog. The dog reacted poorly. Dog snapped at her.
Oh,
Like I said, caught her there and caught her there. Was it 100% the dog's fault? No, I think the dog didn't like being in the car and nervous and stuff like that. But we add the food aggression issues and stuff like that, and we tried to look into trying to relocate the dog, but it was a pit bull mix, and there's not a lot of people that will take a pit bull mix, that especially one that's actually attacked a person. So we had to put the dog down. Needless to say, at that time, and still a little bit, I wasn't very happy with the dog. I don't know why I still have the box. I had a lot of fond memories of the dog before kids and stuff, but
Yeah.
when she was still a puppy. And but I'm still not very happy with the dog.
Yeah, bet your kid. I don't think many people would enjoy that. Now, did you tell your kid that you took her to the farm or took him to the farm?
I just said the dog went away.
That happened when I was a
we
kid.
Specified.
My dog, I had a Great Dane, and she bit a kid that was poking a stick through the fence, and taunting it.
Oh yeah. And
so at the time, my mom told me, I was real little, that she took her to a special academy to be a guard dog. And I believed her for years and years. I never even thought.
Well,
hey,
see,
that doesn't sound like a true story.
If that got taken to court, then probably the dog wouldn't have forced you to put the dog down.
Probably not. But
no one can afford to go to court to protect
we're really
the life
poor
of their
too.
dog.
So.
And that's another. I don't think I'm going to own another dog unless my financial situation changes, just because of how the veterinary insurance situation has changed the pricing of anything.
Oh my God!
When it comes
it's so expensive.
Yeah, if you don't have animal insurance, if you're not paying, and the older they get, the more it costs. So I looked it up because I wanted to know about getting my dogs insured because of how expensive anything involving the vet was getting. And it was $75 a month per dog because of their age.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, so I would have been paying. Now, this isn't including the cats or anything, but because my dogs were, 13 years old, they were considered seniors, and $150 a month to have the two of them on insurance. And the way the economy is right now, and how far my money stretches, I can't do that, and so I can't have a dog until I can, or another dog anyway. I'm not giving up my dog.
At that point, they should be considered dependents.
Basically,
right?
Yeah.
Right?
You're paying food and insurance for them. I mean,
you'd be able to claim them on your taxes as dependent.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I would be embarrassed to say how much money I've spent on animals in the past. It's insane,
Well,
but it's like they got you, bent over a barrel. Basically, what are you gonna do?
I was watching a YouTuber talk about his dog because he has one of those little poodle dogs. And evidently their legs break really easily. And he has money, that particular YouTuber that I was watching. And he was saying that it was like $4,000 or $6,000 depending on, what you got done for the dog. And that most people just have the dogs put down because they cannot afford to crap that kind of money to help out their dog. And that would just be the most heartbreaking thing. I can't shit enough money to save my dog's life.
Buster's dental bill was $800.
Damn.
Yeah. And he has a disease that I didn't know about when I got him, but it's called tooth resorption that some cats get, where it develops kind of sores on their gums and stuff, but basically the jaw begins to reabsorb the tooth enamel, and they get holes in their teeth and they become real brittle. And so he had to have 6 teeth removed and like a fake bone put into his jaw and then restitched up and stuff. And that's a condition that you can't cure either, so it may happen again,
Oh my God.
So it is.
It's horrible trying to, just have a pet.
No, I'm good. I have kids. my son is missing 5 adult teeth. All right, I don't need the same thing with an animal.
Yeah.
My wife's probably always going to have cats, but the dogs were mostly for me and my son. But I just don't think I'm going to have another dog unless my financial situation changes a lot. If I cannot provide the proper care for an animal, then I'm just not going to have an animal.
Makes sense.
Are you tired yet?
I am extremely tired. Should
All
end this
right.
show on that depressing note.
Yeah, right.
On Dog Desk Talk.
Yeah.
Hope everybody enjoyed that.
Hey, Rob, are you working on anything?
Hey, Rob, are you
Oh.
working on anything?
Sorry, buddy.
I'll save it till the next show.
No.
You go ahead.
No,
We all-
no.
we all-
God, no. Go.
We all said our piece. Let us talk for hours.
So for my birthday, I bought myself a Star Labs Starbook 14-inch laptop, and arrived from the UK in 2 days.
That's
and
awesome.
just like the one I bought
Good.
for L, it's freaking amazing. And since it's not for somebody else, I've already hopped in and started doing stuff. So instead of trying to do straight Docker and potentially hose a system with configurations and settings that shouldn't be there, I installed VirtualBox, and I have multiple images loaded on it that I'm configuring. And I'm going to try and do as much virtualization before the next show.
Nice.
That'll be fun.
Yep. I'm taking notes on what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. I'm thinking about doing the same thing with the Lugcast Labs. And
Yeah, I was going to mention that to you while you were on your phone call. We had convinced Danny to do something on the Lugcast Lab.
Yeah, I'm running the BBS on the LinuxLUGcast Labs.
so I'd like to do a fresh install and then do a clean podman. Can we do podman? So it's rootless containers. A podman install and install things that way. I assume with Nginx Proxy Manager for handling the domains.
Yeah, that'd be the simplest.
And then I have lots of extra domains we can use. And if you want to route any minnix.dev or anything else on there, I'll try and make a list of all the domains I have. I have more than 20.
Yeah, damn. I've got one. I got about 30 subdomains, but just one domain.
I have lots of domains.
Might as well use them.
Yes. Well, I have them all to do all these different projects virtually, and then don't have the knowledge and skills to make all that stuff work. So a lot of the tutorials from Network Chuck on YouTube. I don't know if you guys have watched him. He does a lot of Linux networking and virtualization videos. He has almost all of his examples. He does stuff inside a VirtualBox before he does Docker and all that other kind of stuff. So he wipes out what he's working on all the time. He has a coffee website that he has that you can pull down and deploy in a container. It's one of his Docker examples where you can test your whole flow and your skill set doing Docker from the command line, not from YAML and all that other stuff. Docker Compose. And then I have a partial tutorial for Vim, which I was going to do tonight. But I'd like to refine it a little bit. And I think
make sure to remind Honky before the next show if you're planning on doing it on the next show, and then we'll structure the show around that, right?
That'll be the main event.
Yeah.
And if you guys have any common things you do in a text editor, like I use Nano because I can search and replace. I use Nano because I can let me know, and if I don't already know, I will find out how to do that one or single task, each single task, and I'll throw that into my tutorial, because that's how I learned. Was I made a list of like 5 to 10 things that I'm still using Notepad++ to access Unix systems, opening files remotely to do what? This. And the person that was helping me showed me how to do all of them in VI. And I was the most skilled person on my team. So the person that helped me And me knowing it helped an entire team of people to learn how to do it all in Linux and Unix. AIX and I don't remember what Linux we were using, but we had AIX and started using a version, probably Rail, but I don't remember.
Now, Honky says Nano is the best text editor. I'm gonna have to.
Yes, I mistakenly thought that as well.
It's kind of a backhanded compliment.
It's the one I use most of the time.
I used Pico before Nano all the way back in the day because I couldn't get VI to work. And it's just a couple things, a couple problems you have when you start, and nobody can help you with them. I think I can help you with them, and once you do them, it's amazing.
I have used Vim. I have used Emacs. I was actually good at Emacs for a while, and yeah.
And got tired of installing an operating system on your operating system.
Mm-hmm.
So, in your opinion, what is the biggest selling point of Vim?
Well, the multiple selling points. One, it's on every single system I've ever been on. Every Linux and Unix system. One of my complaints for newer systems is they default to Nano, and you have to go and change everything back to VI, especially for VI sudo. I think Debian and Ubuntu newer systems default to Nano, and I can't edit a file in Nano anymore. I can move to the top and bottom of the file. I can move to the middle. I can search for things. The edit and replace, and using edit and replace with confirmation, so you can go through and only change what you're looking for that is pertinent. Life-saving, life-changing. And I know this much. I try to go find something else to learn in VI every month. I have a goal of doing it every day, but that doesn't happen.
No. Can you give us a little mini review of your Starlabs laptop? When you just got
yes,
14 inch?
It's running 14 inch. It's running MX Linux.
Is that what it comes with?
You have a wide variety of options. So it's currently running kernel 6.8.9-3. So MX Linux is based on Debian 12. So it's a Debian 12 bookworm.
What's the desktop?
It's a XFCE with Qt running. So XFCE desktop with Qt desktop manager, I believe.
Now, what would be the difference between MX Linux and Debian with XFCE?
System D.
It's slicker. Does it have System D?
Well, MX can have System D, but it doesn't automatically use System D.
It has system control. System has not been booted with System D, isn't it? D. Yes, that is correct. It's running init and not System D.
Don't you hate it when Joe's right?
Yes.
So smart.
I haven't dug into it that far, but I assumed it had System D.
What about the hardware?
So I'm trying to get to the. Okay, so the Starbook specifications. 14-inch diagonal LED backlit matte display with IPS technology, 1920 by 1080 resolution at 157 pixels per inch, 16.9 ratio. I configured, the CPU processor is configurable. I got a 1.9 gigahertz, 8-core AMD Ryzen 7 5800U. Storage, I have a 2 terabyte Gen 4 PCIe SSD. 64 gigs of RAM. DDR4 3200 megahertz. It has core boot. AMD Ryzen graphics. Wi-Fi 6 AX2210. 802.11ax up to 2.4 gigahertz. 802.11ac BAGN compatible. Bluetooth 5.3.
Are you running Mumble on it now?
I am not. I am running Mumble on my Motorola phone using this is my work headset. I figured out how to pair it with my phone. It's Bluetooth. It's a Voyager 4320. Cancels out all the noise in the background. You can't hear my TV going, people talking. It's wonderful.
It sounds a lot better.
Yeah. What were you using before? Like Skull Candy or something?
Skull Candy earbuds.
Now, what do you think about like the chassis and the keyboard and stuff like that? Feels pretty solid.
It is absolutely made by Linux devs that wanted to make a laptop that fit their needs because all the other ones sucked.
High quality components, you can tell.
Yes, absolutely. I could tell from the one I bought for L. I used it. I used it for a little bit. Remember, I didn't have Chrome on it, so right. I looked green on the but it's got a 14-hour battery life. It's wonderful.
What was the cost of it?
The base price is like $1,100, and I maxed out everything. I think it was 14, 16, something like that. I still don't have my 12-inch tablet.
Was that
I ordered in September. Star Labs, yeah. So in March they said they were starting to get them in, and in the beginning of April they said that they would be shipping them in 4 weeks. Within 4 weeks. So it's been more than 4 weeks. No update since then. But I had anticipated getting it in October last year. I was going to take it with me to Thailand because I wanted the 16-inch.
Still no word on the phone?
I was just about to ask that.
No, I've been asking for refunds on the phone over and over and over again, and they keep stringing me along. I need to look at they're from the UK also, and they're required to give you a refund when you ask for one.
Really?
It's a requirement. Yeah,
Whoa.
So I don't know if it's going to cost me more to file in the UK or if I can go on their Facebook page and stop bombarding them daily with comments.
Leave them a bad
I
review.
assume they can delete those.
If you need any help, I'll make some comments.
Or simply block you.
I don't want to cause them bad publicity. I just want my money back. I need a new phone. I was actually looking at one of the Xiaomi phones is at the top of the Ubuntu touch list right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And cheaper than the Pixel 3. Higher specs and cheaper than the Pixel 3. Pixel 3 is another one that's high on the Ubuntu.
What's Xiaomi's operating system called?
Me UI or something like that.
Me.
No, it's not Me.
Something like that.
It's like Me UI.
Yeah, I don't like it. It's full of spyware and advertisements.
Yeah, it is. I had
Yeah,
one that
yeah.
like that.
I got one. It took me 2 months to get the unlock code to root it from them, and put Ubuntu Touch on it. Used it as a phone for one day. It was so-so, but it was older and the battery wasn't lasting, and so I just gave up on it. I also saw the the build your own laptop framework laptops.
Yeah.
They have 14-inch, 16-inch available, and a $1,000 Chromebook that I think everything's soldered into. I don't think you can upgrade stuff in it, but
It kind of goes against their philosophy, I would think.
I don't know. That was just looking at it. I didn't read through. I need to go back and read through. But for $1,000, I would expect to get like one of the Samsung Galaxy Chromebooks that has 512 gigs of storage and 16 gigs of RAM.
$1,000 a lot for a Chromebook.
Not if you can put Linux on it.
Yeah, that's what. Didn't Fat Boy have a Chromebook he was talking about that he was using for this talk on the show?
Isn't Chromebooks basically, aren't they changing their OS so that it's basically a Chrome or a Linux distribution heavily centered around Chrome?
I remember them talking about
I
Fuchsia.
hope so.
Fuchsia, remember that?
Mm-hmm.
But back to Vim. Vim is my daily editor of choice.
Heard it here, folks. Mordancy says Vim is better than Nano. Who will win?
But Nano's powerful.
I never said that. Nano is simple.
No,
it's simple. That's the whole point of it.
My one of my bank jobs, the Unix team used to make fun of all the app developers because they requested Nano installed and everything because nobody could use VI.
Yeah.
And then I learned from one of the Oracle admins, and we traded knowledge, Linux knowledge for VI knowledge, and yeah, just I need to find my note. I have one of those spiral notebooks, the like half-size ones with a spiral at the top.
Mm-hmm.
And I have all the notes he gave me. We just sat at lunch I think two different times, and went through all the stuff I wanted to know, and he showed me. And I should have it as a cheat sheet in front of me all the time, but yeah, there's probably a couple things on there that I have forgotten, but a lot of it I use every day, and I love the replace, the global replace. Use like the Perl expression.
You'll turn us into converts, do you think?
Yes, absolutely.
Honky, you hear that? Whether you like it or not, you're going to be using Vim.
I think it would be a good knowledge to learn, even just trying to learn the basic of how to get a cursor on the screen to type something and how to exit out without having shut down the computer to exit out.
Yes. So to exit is escape : Q for quit. If you changed anything in the file, it's escape : Q !
Hold on the power button for about 5 seconds till everything shuts down.
Wrong.
No.
Right
but
quit. It's right quit. Otherwise, you have to. If you're not saving, you have to quit !
That's what I just said.
No.
He said how to close it. I said Control escape : Q to quit. Escape : Q ! To quit without saving.
Oh yeah, quit without saving. Okay, and they said quit with saving.
What happened
without saving?
Control escape or just escape?
Escape.
You have to hit escape and then colon, and then you have to type. If you're writing it, you have to type WQ and then enter. Otherwise, it's Q exclamation point enter.
Normally, when you're a beginner, you're trying to exit the file because you don't want to save it.
That sounds like a lot of button pushes.
No more Control X, Honky.
Why?
Well, then you're not moving the mouse over in a GUI and going File, Save, or File, Save As, and waiting for a dialog
X.
saving a location.
Control X.
Alt F5.
Yeah. Let's see.
And I set my editor in Bash to VI with set-o VI. And I put a script in etsy-profile.d that sets VI as the editor. And then when I'm in the command line, I can do escape and the letter V, and it opens up from the command line VI, and I can write like programming loops and stuff, and then execute it in one big block daily. I do this daily. It's wonderful.
My friend uses tilde because he wants the Windows variants in the console, so he has to use the mouse edit files, which would drive me nuts.
I've seen people do plugins where they have their VI window sliced up into segments, like a screen session or tmux session, and they have the like file browser on the side, so they can do a hotkey to go over and go down and drill into folders and open up more than one file. It's awesome. Like a GUI editor in the command line.
Like a file tree.
I'm not there yet. Yeah, a file tree on the left-hand side, yeah. Kind of like what Atom and what's the other one? The
VS
Visual
Code? VS
Studio,
Code?
VS Code, yeah, like that, but in the command line.
We've talked about editors like that in the past on the show, I think. Which give you a file tree. Oh, not editors. I think it was
File managers.
Yeah, file managers, yeah.
Yeah, like what's the one? MC?
Midnight Commander.
Midnight Commander.
Midnight Commander, and the ones that build off of that are more user-friendly and complex.
Anything else you wanted to add, Mordancy?
I will cut it off there, and hopefully I'll have more to talk about with the virtualization next show. I might not be talking on the next show because I'll be at the Southeast Linux Fest.
When is it?
8th, 9th, and 10th, I think.
So you'll be driving there.
Yeah, the 7th.
7th, 8th, and 9th.
Show, yeah.
It'll be 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Hopefully my work is paying for my airfare because it's classified as training that I have to have. But I had to order a corporate card and it took a long time. So I don't know if they want to pay for the airfare. It's doubled in the last month from like 200 and something to 500 and something round trip.
Wow.
And the hotel I didn't get the special rate, so it's higher. And I entered it and didn't go through our travel like I was supposed to. Because it's part of the conference, so I booked it myself.
We gotta wait a whole other month to get our
BI lesson
tutorial.
So I have some Vim RC for your profile settings that I use, and some extra ones that other people have found useful. I use Vimcat, which once you turn your syntax highlighting on Vim, Vimcat is a script from Vim that I think it's from Vim that will function like cat, but pass it through the Vim syntax highlighting that you have set on your profile. So it'll, when you cat a file and it's just all one color plain text,
Mm-hmm.
it outputs it with syntax highlighting so you can look through code much easier.
That's
Unless
nice.
you're one of those monochrome coders, which I am not.
No, I don't. Well, do that, but I much rather have colored text.
Yeah, color. Yeah. Yep. And then, like I said, I put the settings for VI to be my default shell editor in etc-profile.d. I also do some stuff with my bash history. So I have a million rows of history and formats the date timestamp and for each record. So when you do history, it shows when it was run. So if you think something happened on May 1st, you can look back through your commands for May 1st. And I'll end it there for today.
All right. So does anybody have anything else before we close this thing down?
Nothing.
I do
Danny?
not.
All right. So our next recording date will be June 7th, 2024. Our music is Downright, provided by Klaatu and Broam. And we'd like to thank Minnix for the use of the Mumble server and any of the other music that we have during this show. I've been your host this evening, Honky Magoo. With us tonight is Joe.
Good night.
Minnix.
Night, everybody. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you
June 7th. And mordancy.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
And good night, Lugbot.
Lugbot has a joke. You want to hear his joke?
Should I stop the recording before
No.
he tells his
Oh.
joke?
Always.
Not really.
You know how I know that Google is female? Because it doesn't let me finish a sentence before making a suggestion.
How about that? That's clean.
What is a female?
Canceled.
Google.
Lugbot is canceled.
Lugbot doesn't care about cancel. Lugbot is always Lugbot. All right.
All right, guys. It's late.
Good night.